Of a key city in eastern Ukraine, Lyman, I hope I'm saying it right, following the retreat that marked the latest defeat of Moscow. How is Putin spinning this?
That's a great question, and it's extremely alarming to me the fact that Russian news right now is taking a very celebratory tone. On Friday there was a decision to annex 4 regions of Ukraine, 18% of Ukraine's internationally recognized territory, and since then the annexation proposal has been wending its way through the Russian parliament, and it just passed the Senate today, and Putin is supposed to sign it into law later today. And as that process has taken place, Russian television is presenting this as a triumphant victory. There is no news whatsoever of Ukrainian military gains, and there's just a sense that this war has ended with a victory, and there's also a showcasing of Russian military superiority, new Russian weapons, and a lot of attention being paid to the alleged economic cost of sanctions on Western countries. So how the Russian population is going to adjust to news of defeats and great military losses is a big, open, glaring one.
Yeah, especially, when relatives don't come home, that's going to hit hard. How long can this last?
100%. This reminds me very much of Stalingrad, where, Hitler tried to conceal news of a change in the war and a growing military disaster for Germany from his people as long as possible. And when news finally began to trickle out, it was seismic in society. Russian society is already in the middle of what some people are characterizing as a bit of a civil war. Unfortunately, it's not taking the shape of protests against Putin in the streets as much as it is in the shape of a growing exodus from the country, particularly with men of military age.
So this ruse, you believe this is fooling some Russians, even if it isn't fooling the world?
It's hard to tell what's happening. Russians are aware that their husbands and fathers are being called up in huge numbers. In fact, chunks of society are starting to just go missing between the exodus of men and the men who are going into the draft. I think when you're really going to see the complication is when you realize how many Russians are being killed, because Putin is sending these men to the front lines with no training, no adequate weapons. And it's also going to be a big issue of how much Putin is going to succeed in being able to convince people that the United States is really to blame for this. And that's Russia's line right now. How we stop this from escalating is a huge question. I will say that the anniversary of the Cuban Missile Crisis is coming up, time when it was considered we were closest to nuclear war. And I have to say that even then, the leader of the Soviet Union at the time, Nikita Khrushchev, said, "I should like to see the kind of bloody fool who is genuinely not afraid of war," right? He and Kennedy were personally against escalation, and we do not see a leader of Russia right now who's afraid of war.
Cynthia Hooper, Associate Professor of Russian History at College of the Holy Cross in Massachusetts. Tracking the best gas prices. San Francisco, Valero at the corner of Judah and 19th, 509. Palo Alto at Arco on San Antonio and East Charleston Road, 523. Santa Clara at Diamond Gas and Market on Scott Boulevard and Warburton, it's 569. 539 in Oakland at the Speedway Express on San Pablo and 34th. If you know of a station that beats these prices, give us a call at 415-474-KCBS. That's 474-5227. The Gas Price Watch, sponsored by Envision Toyota of Milpitas.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you may be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to GetRefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per per employee. Go to getrefunds.com. That's getrefunds.com.
Trimark has been partnering with independent restaurateurs in Northern California for over 55 years. Trimark gives you innovative product solutions to help your hospitality business thrive. Trimark provides it all. Food service equipment, supplies, and design. Visit TrimarkWest.com.
Love is on the free Odyssey app. Your trusted local radio stations, coverage of your favorite teams, live news from your hometown, and millions of podcasts on demand. Best of all, you can completely customize your listening experience. Follow topics you care about, like leagues and teams. Pause or rewind your local sports and news, and add shows to your queue to catch up later. There's a lot to listen to, so get started and download the free Odyssey app today.
10:38 at KCBS. Spotted a crash in Sunol. We got to check that with Victor and your local Honda dealers. Traffic Center.
Yeah, this already causing quite a bit of a backup. This on 680 southbound. Also want to thank Bobby for calling the KCBS phone for us at 415-391-KCBS. Just after you pass Sunol Boulevard, that's you're going to see the brake lights. Now, this crash is before the Sunol exit, before you get to Calaveras Road, right around Highway 84. It is blocking the left lane. Cars in the center divide, others in the right-hand shoulder, so it's quite a bit of a mess there. Expect delays once you actually get past that. Looks like it's a very smooth ride as you continue all the way into Fremont. Speaking of Fremont, still looking at slow traffic on southbound 880 as you approach Thornton Avenue. By the time you get to Stevenson Boulevard, looks like it eases up nicely, and also still have very heavy traffic on the transition ramp from southbound 880 in Milpitas to westbound 237 by the time you reach North 1st Street in San Jose. Looks to the right all the way into Sunnyvale, Mountain View around Highway 101 and 101. Still looking at a little bit of brake tapping on 101 northbound just after Shoreline Boulevard through Mountain View. By the time you reach Palo Alto after San Antonio Road, looks like a very smooth ride all the way into Redwood City. Your next traffic update at 10:48 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Still cool around the bay. 61 degrees in downtown San Francisco. Danville with 59. Santa Rosa 54, 57 in Mountain View. It is partly sunny and 67 in Concord. Livermore's got